Hey, what's up? It's Joe. Welcome to my 5 Minute Friday for March 22nd. So I'm just hanging out here in Paris, France once again. And yeah, it's been a great time here. I did a couple events over at Haimea and then over at One Point yesterday. So they have a giant conference and there's also KubeCon going on. So got to catch up with a lot of friends, both locals and travelers. So it's really cool to meet everybody once again. This is the thing I like about traveling is that it's the FaceTime you get with friends is something that's just really hard to replicate on a Zoom call. So yeah, I think in person is pretty awesome. And things in my mind this week, I think that there's it's going to be a bit of a different 5 Minute Friday maybe than the other ones where I rant about data and tech and all those fun matters. But I think this time I want to talk about questions that I actually get almost equally, which is about writing, writing books, writing articles. And yeah, I can walk you through my writing process, why I write, why I think you should write. And yeah, so we'll get into it. So my writing process, I typically focus on certain word counts per day. Maybe that's 500 words, maybe that's 1,000 words, maybe it's more. But you set a minimum threshold of words. I tend to be very, I don't know, deliberate about what I write each day. So, this is, I think it helps to have a game plan. It's not to say you'll stick to it. So, in fact, one of my chapters for my book is actually late right now. That's due to a lot of other things going on, courses and so forth. But in an ideal world, I have a plan. Every day is mapped out according to what I'm going to be writing. That's kind of how I worked on fundamentals of data engineering. Blog posts are very similar. I don't know. I approach writing my weekly stuff more kind of how, I don't know, things in my mind. Thursday or Friday typically, right? And so that's kind of influences the rants that I write on my blog. And that's really much by design. I think if I try and write an article too, I think intentionally, when it's supposed to be in a rant form, it ends up, I think, becoming a bit formal and loses, a bit of the freewheeling nature that I'm known to write. So I try and keep it pretty spontaneous in that regard. But like I said, other things like books or papers, it's definitely all planned out as much as I can. So yeah, and I think why do I write? There's no better exercise to clarify your thinking around a particular topic or an idea than to write it out. I think that even making podcasts, videos, courses, that's great, but it doesn't force your thinking to the level that writing does. Writing forces you to think about the idea, obviously, but also how you structure the ideas behind the idea, and so forth. And I think there's no substitute for it. So if you ever wanted to, claim a mastery of a topic or explore a topic and master it, writing about it is a great thing to do. I will also say that writing articles is not the same as writing a book. I think writing a book it's not the same as writing a bunch of articles. In fact, it's way harder in that sense where you have to keep sort of a theme and a narrative and a storyline going throughout your book, and you have to connect all the ideas together in a way that writing a bunch of random articles just won't do. So it's substantially harder. I would say orders of magnitude more difficult to write a book than it is to write articles. But I think articles are good because you can explore a topic very microscopically, whereas a book you're dealing with a topic in a very macro sense. So both are good, but I don't think writing a book is for everybody. Definitely take years off your life. It's a lot of work, but it'll also add years of joy. So I guess there's that. I don't know. Why do I think that you should write? I think that there's a lot of reasons why you should write. And I'll get into this too with respect to why I think now is probably the best time to be writing. It's a great time to write because I think for you personally, it's a way to grow, your knowledge, sharpen your ideas, just in a way that's writing is irreplaceable, right? But I also feel like, especially in the age of ChatGPT and generative AI and large language models, there's going to be increasingly a sense of laziness around people's thinking. And writing is still the best way to remove that laziness. It forces you to really focus and work hard for an idea in a way that just typing into a search box or a chat bot is not going to do. So I think that you'll see a lot of people writing, quote unquote, using large language models. And I see this already. In fact, I've seen it with knockoffs of my book, right? There's several copies of Fundamentals of Data Engineering that are not my book. And when I look at the samples of these, they're complete garbage because they look like they've been written by a large language model. I almost guarantee they were. And it's obvious the author didn't put in the thinking, into their work. And but increasingly that's going to be content. And so I think what people are going to want is really genuine content that, maybe it's augmented with AI, but it's not written entirely by AI. The types of articles I think that would be written by AI are just, maybe news articles that are summarize events that's already happening, right? But you can see the quality is pretty crap. But I think increasingly what's going to be valuable, what people are going to really want, are original ideas, original thinking, original writing, by humans for humans. And that simply comes from the act of writing. So, I think that by you taking on the act of writing, it puts you in a different league, and helps separate you from, the robots, so to speak. So, and how I write with, I definitely use ChatGPT and Gemini Advanced every day, but I use it more as a conversational agent where I'm, trying to poke holes in my ideas, and it does a fantastic job at that. I think it's a great tool if you want to explore, the boundaries of your ideas. But when it comes to actually writing something, I don't use generative AI for that. One, it's not copyrightable. Generative AI, it spits out text and you can't copyright that. And two, at least for me, my writing style is, it's a bit weird. It's a bit quirky and it's a bit off the cuff. So I just don't think that, generative AI is going to come up with the same takes and twists and ways of explaining things that I do, right? So, but I definitely use it, like I said, as a conversational agent. I use it all the time, but when it comes to writing, that's all me, and it always will be. So I'm not going to cheat, my readers out of my original writing. So that's at least how I view it. So anyway, maybe I'll keep posting articles about writing and content production. I think a lot of people. I'm getting a lot of requests and a lot of questions about that, so I'm happy to answer that in a way that's maybe a bit more asynchronous versus having to answer every single time. But yeah, I think everyone should write. There's no better way to sharpen your ideas, your expertise in a subject or a field than just to write relentlessly. And I think as far as the other thing I just want to mention too is career-wise, I think it's great, especially if you can write a book. Because that establishes you as, quote, an expert in the field. Depending if your book's good. I think it kind of goes without saying. I don't think you should write a book just to write it, but you should write a book because it's going to be amazing. But articles do that too. Blogs will do that, right? So, I know a lot of friends that have successful blogs and very visible blogs. So, that's another avenue. But, especially career-wise these days, getting your name out there, getting your opinions and making tutorials and all that stuff, which I think is a great way to showcase your knowledge and really put yourself out there in a way that's going to help solidify you both as an expert as well as grow your network of people. So say that you need to get a job or you're looking for new opportunities, you can point to that body of work that you have, and that's amazing. Right? That's irreplaceable. That's uniquely you, right? So I think that's another benefit of writing is just the visibility that comes along with it, and you'll develop a tribe after a while of people who really like your content, and it's pretty cool to see, right? I've done that, and I definitely appreciate all of you who take the time to listen to my rants and read my rants and books and so forth. So, and yeah, excited. Just the beginning. There's some cool stuff I'll be announcing over the summer with regard to my new book and some activities around that. I'm not going to say too much yet, but yeah, it's going to be a really exciting time. So anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to go out and enjoy the weather right now in Paris. It's sunny, it's beautiful, and I'm just stuck in my hotel room working, so I'm going to get out for a bit. But anyway, hope you have a great weekend, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.